Attention please. This uploading is only for educational purpose. No intention to infringe copyrights. Learning English with Subtitles GPITRAL. Follow us.
The stray chinchilla found sheltering under a car has found a good friend in vet nurse Rocky Moses.
I'm going to give it a dust bath because that's what they really need. She needs it quite badly. With chinchillas, you can't actually wet them, so you can't bath them in water because they can get pneumonia really easily. So they have a special calcium bath which helps get rid of any grime, little mites if they've got mites, and they really enjoy it. I mean, they're really distinctive because they don't look like any other animal. They have a look of a cross between a rabbit and a squirrel because they also have a little tail that curls up. Depending on the colours, like for her, she's actually a standard grey. So she's probably going to go for about $150 to $180. You can get black velvets, which go for more than that. You can pay up to about $200 to $300 for just one chinchilla. Have you had enough? No, not really. This is one way of cooling down as well.
Chinchillas like to have 10 to 15-minute dust baths most days of the week, and they really need to be looked after by someone who knows what they're doing.
They can die really easily through not proper care. So we may actually just send her to a well-known pet shop, depending on if we can't find a home for her. I can't believe nobody's come looking for her.
Little Evie, the puppy who was savagely beaten and sustained multiple injuries to her legs and face, is off to Franklin Vets for a checkup.
Hi, Evie. Hey. Hello.
It's been 5 weeks since her last operation.
She's grown. She has grown a lot.
Evie's been on cage rest ever since, and vet surgeon Ruth Humans gives her prognosis.
Yeah, I think she's using the leg reasonably well, but I'm just a little concerned at how much swelling she's got in the hip area. Okay. But that's something we can check on her x-ray today. It's a good time to take an x-ray because I can feel still quite a lot of swelling around her hip. Yep. It may just be scar tissue, but we want to make sure that the screws haven't loosened or anything like that. Yeah. Okay.
The sounds and smells of vet clinics have become familiar to Evie in the last few weeks. She's a puppy who's had to become used to drugs and operating tables. Today she's only having a series of x-rays, but for dogs this procedure means an anaesthetic.
Might need to do this one again a bit.
From a medical perspective, the news is good.
We've repaired the fracture with 2 screws and a pin, and you can see today that the screws and pin are still in place. Nothing's come loose in spite of Evie being a very active puppy. We can still see the fracture line, so it's not fully healed yet. That means that we need to keep her caged up probably for another month, which I know Evie is not going to appreciate, but for her own good she needs to be kept very quiet. This lower screw, we can see a little bit of lysis or bone loss around the screw itself. We don't want that screw to loosen prematurely or, she could have a problem.
So it's cage rest for another month. Sad news for Evie, but at least she's been given a second chance after such a harrowing start to life. Karen is returning to the area where the pigeons were dumped to see if she can find out more information about who committed this crime.
Hello. You didn't see who dropped the bag off, did you?
No, I wish we did, now that when we found out. Because I thought the pigeons had dropped out of the sky.
Yeah, well, it kind of looked like that.
There were so many all in one place.
Oh, beautiful.
And they were so lovely and healthy.
I know, they were. Unfortunately, I found nothing. So, but anyway, I'll keep the case open, and who knows? Someone might come forth once it's in the paper.
Well, I know we keep
telling
telling each other. Thank you, that would be wonderful to know.
Lovely to meet you.
Nice
See you later. Karen from the SPCA. We just, I found a bag of pigeons the other day, last Friday.
Oh, yeah.
On the side of the road there.
Oh.
And so we're just asking anybody, did you see anything? Did you see anybody drop the bag off, a rubbish bag?
No, we didn't see anything like that.
You didn't see. We found a bag of pigeons. And they kind of half killed some of them and just stuffed 30 of them into a plastic. I know, it's really, really sad.
Look, anybody wants to get rid of pigeons, they can bring it to me.
Yeah, because they're lovely. Well, there were a lot there, but they obviously flew home.
They bring a lot of money in the shops.
Well, exactly. Yeah, there's no need to kill them.
Karen's theory is that the pigeons were being raised as food by new immigrants, but that still doesn't explain their fate.
Well, unfortunately, they didn't see anything either. So I've been to a few of the houses around here, and nobody seems to have seen anything. I've contacted the local papers, and the story, with a bit of luck, will be out in tomorrow's paper. If I don't get any response from there, I don't know where to go from here, basically. So it appears the person who did it will get away with it from now.
At the SPCA, Rocky's enjoying looking after her exotic ward. The little chinchilla's been at the SPCA for the mandatory period of 7 days, and no one has claimed her yet, but the staff are taking a keen interest in her.
They're actually from the Andes Mountains, kind of high up in cool, dry, nice places. They're actually quite suited to cooler temperatures. In fact, their usual range is sort of a 10 to 16 degree range, and in fact they can have quite severe health problems and even die if it gets over above about 27. Most of their problems come from the housing and the nutrition, so the proper bedding and the proper nutrition. And chinchillas get this really funny predator avoidance and defense mechanism called fur slip. So if somebody grabs them or they get nervous, they actually let all their fur go in that area. So you end up with giant bald patches on your chinchilla. It doesn't hurt the skin, but they'll just like let all the hair go. So if you grabbed a tail, like it could literally let all the tail hair go or all the fur go in an area. So far, he's not doing that, which is good. So let's see, what are we gonna do now? Obviously, we're not gonna put up any posters. We've waited her stray time. We've waited her stray time. So no one's come to claim her. So at this point, we will go ahead and adopt her out. Obviously, with unique animals such as this, or animals that need special attention, we really like to make sure of who adopts her. We're not going to give her out to the first person that puts up their hand and goes, I want a fuzzy chinchilla. So we'll likely rehome her to somebody that has had experience with chinchillas and can demonstrate that.
Well, if she does not find a suitable home, there could be a very likely chance that I could be taking her home.
It's been 3 days since Marley, the elderly mare, was rescued from a paddock near Warkworth. Since arriving at the SPCA, she's enjoyed a bath, a roll in the paddock and the company of other horses. But this afternoon, to everyone's shock, she's taken a sudden turn for the worse and has become extremely unwell and distressed.
Well, yeah, obviously she was bathed this morning and was quite bright and happy and running around the paddock. But it was just noticed that she, just half an hour ago or so, that she was just standing in the paddock and not looking very happy and a bit unsteady on her feet. So we brought her in here and she's definitely not happy, as you can see. Her breathing's really laboured and she's discharging a lot out of her nose. I mean, at this stage, we're not really sure what, whether it's a direct result of the bath or whether she's done something else or whether, you know, today was just her day. So
it's just horrible when you see them in pain and there's nothing we can do. We just got to stay here and comfort her till the vet gets here, and then the vet mightn't have a really good idea on what's going wrong with her.
So how long has she been like this? Well, we've only noticed it probably the last hour, just before we rang you. I mean, she was bathed about 11:30 this morning, and I say she was bright and happy and running around and rolling then. Yeah.
It doesn't take long for the vet to confirm the worst.
It's not very good. No. We did guess that. Yeah. I mean, when she came out, she came in obviously with a big, huge belly, and we thought there might be other issues going on in there.
I actually think she might have a tumour in her heart that's exploded or ruptured at the moment. That's why she's bleeding, because it causes those blood vessels, and there's fluid line in the lungs, which is probably the bleeding into the lungs that causes this much distress. With all the horses, that's what you run into. It'd be very hard to get her back.
Everyone is devastated, but they're comforted by the thought that they were there for her at the end.
At least she's not still up in the paddock with no one to, be there for her.
At least she's here.